Today's our 11th practice, so we've been going at it for about 2 weeks officially. Like our team. Of course, if you're a coach this time of year and you don't like your team, you're in real trouble. So I like our balance between newcomers and returning players. I think we're more athletic this year. We got a chance to be a better defensive team. Probably most impressive thing has probably been our young guys have really contributed. I think some of these true freshmen are going to play real minutes in our games here in a couple of weeks, so that's exciting. Addition to the coaching staff that came out a couple weeks ago that I haven't commented on yet is Sean Sutton, somebody that I have a lot of respect for. Not only him, but his family and their history in basketball. Sean was a great player and coach. I think it's just a great addition. The people that will benefit mostly is our players, just having another great mentor type figure to be around. And we're positive that Sean will help our team this year, so that's a positive. We're really excited about our schedule, highlighted by the throwback game in the non-conference in the Old Coliseum, where I think we pay respect to the tradition and past in the program, bring a lot of the former players back. It's going to be an exciting day, and it's going to be a tough basketball game against a Rice team that's well-coached, talented, gave us all we could handle last year, in a one-possession game. Two trips, the Connecticut MTE multi-team event. It's going to test us early, and then a national television game at Madison Square Garden. I think it's not only great for our team but our fan base. Then it'll be another brutal year in the Big 12, which we're looking forward to competing and hopefully taking the next step as a program this year. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions today.
We'll start with Carlos in the front.
Coach, I know last year you said you were looking for some shooting, got a couple recruits that might be able to do that, and obviously some JUCO guys. Who have you kind of seen that's kind of stepped in and really kind of shot pretty well in practice so far?
Yeah, it's a great question. Shooting something that I think every team in the country is looking for. College basketball has kind of changed with the three-point line and all, so it starts with our returning players becoming better shooters. I think maybe the best example in my coaching career would be Keenan Evans last summer when he went from, playing as a sophomore and really the three-point shot was not one of his great weapons to last year, arguably one of the better shooters in our league. So we want all of our returning players to improve. And then certainly with recruiting, we've recruited some guys that we think can shoot the ball. Morrow at the top of that list, Jarrett Culver and Z. Just a lot of guys on our team can shoot, so hopefully we'll be a better shooting team this year.
We'll stay with Carlos with a follow-up.
And then last question for you. I know you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but do you have an update on Matthew Temple or anything like that?
Yeah, Matthew Temple's waiver appeal was denied, so the NCAA did not give him another year to play, which my personal opinion really doesn't matter at this point. I felt bad for Matt, but I feel great for Matt and his future. He's in grad school right now because he didn't know if he's going to play or not. The decision came late. It's one of my personal problems with the timeline of the decision. But so Matt's in grad school. It's something that he wants to do anyway. He wants to get a graduate degree. It's a lifelong goal of his. He's rehabbing his knee from a routine scope this summer, and then we've approved it with the NCAA that he's going to be what's called a practice player. So on an occasional basis, he'll be able to help our team out in practice, at the same time get himself back in playing shape. And then we're going to do everything we can to get Matt a job in professional basketball as soon as he's healthy.
Go to Will in the middle.
Coach, with Josh and Hiram, you brought in both those guys from junior college. What was it that stuck out about both those guys, and what do you think kind of added to your guard rotation there?
Well, the first thing, they're winners. They both played for great programs, not good, great. Trinity Valley with Guy Furr, and, of course, Steve Green at South Plains. So we knew we were getting guys that have been coached at a high level, and they know how to win. And we really felt the responsibility to try to get some experience in our backcourt. With this senior class that we have with Keenan, Justin, Zach, Tommy, Nayeem, we just wanted to give those guys a chance to go out with a bang. And to do that, we needed some experience in the backcourt. So I think Josh and Hiram have been great additions to the team. We look for them both to contribute this season.
We'll stay with Will.
With Zach and then him going to the NBA process and coming back, what was it that you think he learned from that? What kind of perspective did he gain from that, and just really kind of figure out where he needs to improve to really have a chance at the next level?
Yeah, I haven't talked to Zach specifically about that. I just saw his approach when he returned to Lubbock seemed to be a little bit more professional. Zach's always been a guy that's given great effort and played very, very hard. But I've noticed a change in his consistency. He's taken care of a lot of the other things off the court in terms of weight room, individual workouts, discipline with his diet. I think you guys will be pleased to see his body today. He looks different. He's probably 10 to 12 pounds heavier right now than he was a year ago at this time. So I'm supportive of all our guys dreaming of playing in the NBA, and I thought that was a great opportunity for Zach. And so I support that in every way. I thought that was a good process for him because it gave him great data and real life. And this is what I got to do over the next season. So I thought it was a positive thing.
We'll go to Bailey in the back middle.
Coach, what does it mean to have those 4 core seniors back, especially playing in a conference like the Big 12?
It's a special group. It was a good day for our program when Keenan and Zach got recognized lately in the preseason Big 12. I've always thought that's a team honor. A lot of things go into that. I'd put Justin Gray right in that same category. He's the guy that normally screens and passes for those guys, so it's more of a team. Also give Tubby Smith a lot of credit. A lot of times when coaches come in, you try to take all the credit. Tubby coached those guys for 2 years hard. We really benefited from a lot of his work. But I'll give our staff a lot of credit, like we already mentioned today with Keenan, the moves he made offensively and statistically between sophomore and junior year. I think our staff deserves some of that credit. So it's a combination of those seniors sticking together through a coaching change, having some success in this league, both individual and team-wise. But like I tell them every day, their story's unwritten. If they can get this team back to the NCAA tournament, then they become guys that were part of a coaching change that went to the NCAA tournament twice, that competed for championships. That's a great story. If we don't get it done, then I don't think it's much of a story.
We'll stay with Bailey.
You've talked about some freshmen possibly getting some real minutes. Can you highlight some of those players and maybe what you've seen?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many of them. I think I can remember all 7 of them, but I hate to talk individually about too many guys. But I'll talk about the 4 scholarship guys. Morrow has came in at a real disadvantage because he wasn't with the team this summer. He's the only guy that wasn't with this summer, and there's a great difference between international basketball and college basketball, especially in the Big 12 with the physicality and weight room and stuff. But he's really competed, and he's made great strides. I think he's gained close to 10 pounds since school started, which is very difficult because we're practicing so hard and long. But Morrow's a guy that brings experience in 2 spots, both guard spot. He can shoot the ball. He's got a great demeanor. I think he's a guy that's going to get on the floor. Obviously, with Jarrett Culver, right from here in town in Lubbock, a special player. Jarrett, too, a little bit of a disadvantage this summer, coming off of shoulder surgery where he couldn't really be a part of team activities till very late in August. But he's made great strides. If we played a game today, Culver would be in the rotation. Zaire Smith from the Metroplex is maybe the best athlete on the team. And, yes, I remember Zach's on the team. Those guys are kind of the same class of athleticism. Z's a guy that's really embraced the process as well as any young player we've ever seen. He's mature beyond his age. He's a guy that kind of gets it, and so he's definitely going to play. Then the 4th scholarship freshman is Malik. He's going to give us some much-needed depth in our backcourt. He's really competing with Norrance and Tommy on a day-to-day basis, so I think he's going to be an active member of this year's roster. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he played a major role. And then with the other guys on the team, it'd be Avery, Alex, and Parker are both doing great things in practice. No decision has really been made to this point for red shirts or anything like that because those guys are in the mix. I'll also tell you that Andrew Sorrells is doing a great job. Maybe a guy that doesn't get as much attention, but this is Andrew's 3rd year in the program. He's the only sophomore we have on paper, and he's a real culture guy, and he's getting better as a basketball player, so Andrew's going to help us as well.
Go to Jared, back middle.
Yeah, Coach, you just mentioned a lot of the new players, guys you brought in with, I think everybody agree, one of the best classes we've seen around here in a long time. Have a great start to the current class. What's allowed this staff, you and the staff, to have this much success on the recruiting trail?
Well, I think above all, we're just selling an easy product to sell. This is a great university. It's a great college town. It's a great community. We have a great fan base. Other sports are having great success. It doesn't take us long to point to what baseball is doing and what track and field has done in terms of championships. Tech football has great traditions, off to a great start this season. Women's basketball has won a national championship with Coach Sharp. So we're selling something that's been done before. And there's a lot of success in our own program as well. And we have just a great product. And I think we have a coaching staff that's really on the same page. I hear this all the time. It's important to have coaches that want to be in Lubbock. I've never really understood that because I don't know why you wouldn't want to be here. But I can tell you this, our staff and our families and everybody, we're 100% committed to what we're trying to get done here together. I think one of the great breaks, the whole coaching staff is back from year 1 to year 2. We add Coach Sutton. It's just going to be, it's a special group of coaches that our players can learn from.
We'll stay with Jared.
Then recently, there was a video about the team finishing and how important that was. And then obviously last year, so many close games didn't go y'all's way. How do you do that as a coach and as a staff? How do you teach players and a team to finish games?
Well, the first thing is you acknowledge, the reality of what's going on. So, we don't hide from it. We were in a lot of close game situations, and we got to get to where we're on the better end of those more than the tail end. So it starts by just being a truth-telling atmosphere and team and just putting it out there. So here's the situation, and this is what we got to do to get better. Specifically, just a couple things. We've really been focused on the idea of finishing, not just on the court, but in the weight room every day, all summer and fall. After the workout, John would do one more thing with the team, the idea of finishing. When we're in the film room, we do our normal film work, and then we show one more teaching clip, the idea of finishing. And certainly in practice, the majority of things we do are competitive. Everything we do has a winner and loser. So we talk about finishing the game. Specifically with our team, the thing we're probably doing more than anything is we're studying close games, the games that we won, the games that we ran out of time, and then other games. Just the other day, we showed our team a second round NCAA tournament game, or maybe a Sweet 16 game between Xavier and Arizona. And it was like an 8-point game with 2 minutes left, and we take our team through the process of close games. The objective isn't to win every close game. That's the dream, but not the objective. The objective is to play every close game to the bone and play it the right way and play it on our terms. Low turnovers, get good shots, get some offensive rebounds. Defensively, don't foul, don't make mistakes. Stay committed to the scouting report. So we really have a plan this year on how we're going to try to finish close games. I think we're going to coach better. I think we're going to play better. And I think everybody on our team's on the same page. You're asking me this question now, and I'm telling you what I think. And I think if you ask Keenan Evans here in 30 minutes, he'll tell you the same thing that I'm telling you. And so that's important that we're all on the same page.
Go back to Will in the middle.
With Tommy and Norrance, what's it been like seeing just the seems like extreme physical transformation that both those guys have gone through for this year, just to prepare themselves and just how different they look now?
Yeah, it's exciting. As a coach and player, you're only as good as the people around you. It's a team sport. And, the coaching staff, but I'm very fortunate to be around an elite person every day in John Rowley, our strength coach. He's a guy that gets it, and he understands how to produce, and he does it in a relationship-based way, but he's basically been a huge part of Tommy's life, losing weight, getting stronger, getting more confident. Norrance's life, changing his body while he was injured and couldn't work at certain things. So I give John most of the credit. I give those guys credit for embracing it, but it's been great. With Norrance, I just think the guy deserves a good season as much as he's been through. Every night before I go to bed, I pray for my 3 daughters, Avriel and Margot. From time to time, I have a selfish prayer in there, maybe that Bob Seeger's back. You see this? Bob Seeger canceled the surgery because of back. Been praying for Bob. But I pray for Norrance, and I mean that in sincerity, because this is a guy that lives his life right. He's a good person, good student. He deserves a break. And so I would do anything for Norrance to get through a full season this year, and that's what I'm hoping and praying for.
Back to Carlos in the front.
I know we spoke about the JUCOs a little bit. I guess what's been the biggest development for Nayeem in his second year? And then I guess have you kind of seen him go to the other JUCO guys and kind of let them know this is what their expectations are now?
Yeah, with Nayeem, it's been a real soul-searching offseason. I think he's improved mentally more than he has physically. Nayeem and I had some real honest conversations after the season that extended all the way through the summer about our team, about his future, about him individually, and he's answered the call. From time to time, I think I heard somewhere the other day that I gave Nayeem a second chance. That's not true. Nayeem gave himself a second chance. Everything that Naeem's done to this point to get himself back on track, and as of today, he's our starting shooting guard. A lot can change, but today he would be. He's making the best grades than he ever has as a student. He's on track to graduate. He's living his life with more discipline off the court, and I'm proud of him, and he deserves all the credit. He's the one that's made these changes. I think last year we all saw what he could be. I sat here many a night when he was sitting right here next to me, and he had 18, 20, 22-point games in the toughest league in college basketball. So now what we're looking for is consistency. And to me, consistency is about discipline. And Naeem's had a great summer and offseason, and I'm looking forward to coaching him this year.
Go to Jeff in the back middle.
Coach, last season didn't end the way you wanted it to for you or for the players without making a tournament. Have you seen a difference in the team's mentality coming in this year compared to last year with a bigger goal in mind?
Yeah, I think so. I think every team's got to improve. Even if we would have lost in the last game of the season last year, we still want to improve. But then certainly last year was some expectations on the team that I think were fair with the returning players and talent we had. I do see an extra kind of reality-based perception. These guys are hungry to get back in the tournament. They're hungry to compete for this championship. We've got the experience, I think, to be a part of the fight. But I have seen maybe just kind of a change in the overall maturity, not just in practice, but off the court, team meetings. We've been having pretty good leadership from older guys right now. So it's been I think we kind of have like a professionalism around our program. I think you guys will see it today in practice. It's just a little bit different feel than it was last year.
We'll stay with Jeff, and then we've got time for a couple more.
You are our representation for the NCAA rules. What is your opinion of the one and done rule? Does it need to be changed? How would you change it in an ideal world?
Yeah, you asked the question, so I'll answer it. But I'm also a guy that, my very first coaching job, I think I've told you all this before, at Incarnate Word College. Now it's the University of Incarnate Word. I worked for a great coach, Danny Casper, who's one of the all-time winningest coaches in the state of Texas. He's at Texas State now. And Pete Peterson was the assistant coach. And Pete told me at a young age about just roles and stuff. He's like, hey, man, just do what you're supposed to do. Let the bus driver drive the bus. Let the trainer tape the ankles. Let coach the team. You do what you're supposed to do. So I've always kind of taken that deal. I don't think I think I have a lot of faith and confidence in the people that make the rules and things like that. It's my job just to follow them. But with the question, I'll answer it. Personally, I've never been a fan of the one-and-done rule. I think we live in the United States of America, and I think if a talented young 17 or 18-year-old has a chance to go to the NBA and the market wants him, that he should be able to go. It's like my daughter Avery. She's really interested in politics, and she's going to go to college. But after 1 year of college, if she had her dream job calling in Washington, D.C., I would tell her to go take your dream job. You can go to college later. So my deal with the one and done is these guys, it's the United States of America. They should be able to go to the NBA if they want. But that's just my opinion. You asked the question.
We'll go to Jeff in the back right.
With as many guys as you have, top, seniors, bottom, freshmen, do you personally have a number for your rotation that you like 8, 9, 10? Is there a certain number that's in your mind that you want for a rotation?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I think some guys are so ingrained with the way they play, whether it be like Coach K at Duke. It's normally about an 8-man rotation. That ninth guy's the guy that helps sometimes. We all kind of have different feels. I've always loved to coach teams with 10 players. I think you can play better defense. I like our best players to play fewer minutes. I told Keenan and Zach the other day, look at I hope they play less minutes than they played last year because it means our team's better. It means they're going to be more rested. So I've always liked personally a team with about a 10-man rotation. Certainly when you get into some games in conference, you might only play 8 or 9, but I like 10 guys that are kind of in the mix. This year, we're sitting here with probably 13 guys in that 10-man conversation right now. So, it's an exciting team. I think depth could be a big part of our team. But we just got to make sure the chemistry coincides with the depth.
Anything else for Coach before we let him go? We'll go back to Bailey. And this will be our last question.
Can you speak to that chemistry? I know last year there were questions about it sometimes. I mean, there's no doubt that your team was resilient, but what have you seen in the team chemistry, through the summer and going into the season?
Well, I think we're heading in the right direction, but we're a work in progress. We have a unique team because we have these seniors, and I kind of put Norris in that group, even though he's a redshirt junior now. They've been here and kind of been through the wars, and we got all these young guys. So really the combination of mixing these guys. And it's a different world in college basketball. These guys live off campus. They have their own lives. Like back in the day, or even earlier in my career, guys lived in the dorm, and they were right there, and that's where the chemistry kind of came from. But, being a Big 12 basketball player is basically a full-time job. These guys have class. They have study hall, they have weight room, they have mandatory nutrition and stuff. So it's a challenge from a coaching standpoint. So I don't think you can just create that. I can't make the guys go bowling every night. You can't push it, but you put them in situations, and then you just hope that your leadership takes over. And I like where we're going. We had a team retreat this past weekend, something that we've done for a long time, based on Bear Bryant, the Junction Boys. So I have a lot of respect for that story. And football coaches in general, but we got out of town this past weekend and practiced and spent a lot of time. I think that's one of the first steps in developing some relationships. But to answer your question, it's a good one. I mean, I like our team chemistry, but you never really know until you get in the fight. But I like where our guys are, and I have a lot of confidence in our leadership. I have a lot of confidence in Keenan, Zach, and Justin, Norris, and Nayeem, these guys that have been around the block. I have a lot of confidence in what they do when I'm not around.
you.